Good afternoon, guys. MWUSA Season 4, Episode 141, and it is Father's Day. It is June 15th, 2025, and I am just heading out for the day. It's only about 1:25 p.m., so a little bit earlier than usual. Had some lunch with the family, hung out for a little while today, and we're on our way now. So a lot of things happening today, a lot of moving parts. We'll see how things go. First, I'm going to need to stop and get gas a few times today. I think I can get to my first casino, which I consider local, even though it's not, without having to get gas. And then we'll stop for some fuel. Then we'll continue on and have to stop again at least one more time on the way home. First stop, we're going to go pick up a little bit of free play. It's not much, and then a gift, which is probably worth like $20. But we'll take a lap in there and see what we can do. Hopefully we find a play. It's probably doubtful on Sunday, but this is what I got to work with, so we'll do that. Then we'll get fuel, and it'll be a very long drive to the next stop, where there's not going to be a lot of action, just a little bit of slot play. Again, not much expected there. And then the third stop we'll go to is the one we're going to be worried about the most, and that is the place that would not cash my chips for me the other day. I'm going to head right back to that same area again. I don't know if it's the best idea, but I'm going to head over there. I've got, even though they scan ID, I don't know that if the ID is connected to surveillance or not, or if they just have facial recognition. Because why would they ask me for ID to cash the chips if I had to give ID 2 minutes before in order to get into the place? So that makes me think that maybe they're not connected, which is good. In that case, I have some ideas about how to get around the facial recognition, and our goal there is going to be probably going to go cash the chips first, and then may or may not play. If I do play, I may just buy in for a small amount. The other way would be just to go try to play and see if I get backed off, and if I do, go get cashed out and leave. I'm not really sure which way I'm going to go with this. I have felt for a little while that I've been scrutinized, but it seems like almost every time that they've been entering in my bets, it seems like the bets have been low and the counts have been low, and I really didn't give them much of an opportunity. And in the last few times that I've been there, anytime the count's gotten high, I've stepped out and my friend stepped in. Now he's back home, and hopefully that'll help the heat go away. I'm not really positive though, so we'll find out. So that's how our day is going to start. There's a lot more to it than that today. I've got thousands and thousands of dollars to cash out. 1,000 at the place I'm worried about, and then some thousands at some other places. So we're going to just take it one step at a time like we always do. We're not going to worry too much about things that we can't change, and we'll see what happens. If I'm backed off there, I'm very worried, because the majority of my income seems to be coming from this spot. So, and that is a problem in itself, and I know that. I have had some other places that have been open to me that I haven't used lately, and I'm starting to use now to kind of offload some of that load, you could say, of how much money I'm taking from this place. I've kind of been offloading it on another place a little bit, but maybe not enough. We'll see. Hopefully I'm just backed off and not trespassed. If they do back me off, we'll go from there. So that's what's going on right now. Weather-wise, could not ask for a nicer day, but it's very warm. It really is warm. To me, it's 77 degrees, which is a little too hot for me. Chance of rain right now is about 30%. It's going to drop to 0 tonight, so no issue there. Just got to play our game here. So that's what is going on right now, and I'll be back to update you soon. Alright guys, I am back, and it was okay. It was really busy. Walk in, see a friend of mine right away, say hello, and I knew, there was already no way I was going to find anything, but I really Didn't feel it anyway, but I came in to get that little bit of free play and pick up this gift. I did both, and I ended up playing 2 machines, and I ended the session ahead 108. So $108. There was a few that were ready to go, that there were people on, but they had a lot of money in the machine, and I knew it was going to be a long shot that they would get up before it was done. So I let those go, and heading out. And actually, interestingly, it was only like a small chance of rain. It was raining when I got here, and right now it's light rain. So hopefully all this dissipates, and we can have a good rest of our trip. Next casino is 3 hours away. 3 hours. So we're gonna stop for some fuel here shortly, and then we'll continue on to our next casino, and hopefully things go well. I'll be back. All right, guys, here I am back here, and this is something I didn't think was going to happen. I'm driving. I'm low on fuel, as always, and in fact, you know, when I asked Coach to send me a test file, his test file was, yeah, this is MW Junior, and I've got 2 miles gas left, and I've got 14 miles to the next gas station. I'm sorry, that's the way it is sometimes, but okay, I got lucky here. So I'm going here, and there's a train, and it's going like 1 mile an hour, and I'm like, okay, well, I know if I go down just a little bit that there's another railroad crossing, maybe I can get to the back of the train. Nope, still the same. And next thing you know, it's going slower and slower and slower, and then stops completely. So now I'm at like 7 miles range, and the train stops. I've got air conditioning running in the car, you know, so I said, okay, the heck with it. I'm going to go on, and I go further down another like 2 blocks, and luckily that was past the end of the train. So while the train has stopped all these people here, I am able to go around it. Luckily, very luckily, that was the end of the train, and I don't have to stress about it. So now, next thing we got to do is look for some fuel. So I've got very little range, and I have a place I want to go, but it's 9 miles away, and my car says I have 7 miles range. So I'm going to open up this window. We're going to turn off this air, and it's so hot outside. I can't stand the heat. I don't know what I'm going to do in Vegas in August, but or on my trip near the equator here in a couple weeks. But so I turned all this stuff off, and hoping to make it to the gas station. Looks like I'm about 1.5 miles short, according to what the car says. I think I can make it. And not only am I going to a gas station, I'm going to the cheaper of the 2 gas stations, which is a half mile further, and I think I'll be good. It's only like $2.60, so you gotta love that. So back on the open road here, I'm still, I don't even know how far, I think an hour and a half, no, still 2 hours away from my next casino, and I'll be back to update you. All right, guys, here I am. I'm at the gas station. I had 1 mile range, and there was a gas station that was the same price as the one I was going to, so better be safe than sorry. $2.60 for gas. So filling up in this small town. I don't even know the name of this town, but we're doing that, and then we're going to continue on, get to our next casino, and try to spin it up a little bit today. Today's going to be a big day. I'm going to feel a lot better if I don't get backed off from this 3rd casino that we're going to go to today, and I'm going to be on fire if I don't get backed off. So I'm going to feel really good about it, and we're going to be more careful again, go back to the way that we played before, because I definitely got tons of heat playing more aggressive the last couple days. So we're going to finish filling up, and I'll be back to update you with some good news. All right, guys, I am back. So I went into that place, and things did not go well. I actually played 2 high-limit slots. Both of them were just barely outside of where I would normally play, and I shouldn't have played them. And that was a bad decision for me to do that. And I ended up losing money because of it. And I don't know if it's because I'm worried about what's going to happen later today, and I just didn't make the best decisions or what. But you know, this is Father's Day. If I'm not going to be at home, I need to make good decisions and make good money for my family. So we will see what happens here the rest of the day, but I need to tighten things up a little bit. I ended up making a loss of $270 there, and we're going to move on to another casino. Now, I was going to go into the casino that I had the issue with the other day, but I changed my mind. I'm going to go to a different one first, and I actually have a lot more chips for the other casino than I do this one. And the plan is just going to be to cash out a few chips, maybe like 1,500, and then go play blackjack, and then come back and cash out the rest, either on a later shift or at the end of my play tonight. So we'll see what happens here, but for sure by the time I get to this area, the casino that I'm worried about is definitely going to have the same shift there as they were when I had the problem Friday. So I'm going to go to the other casino, and then I'm going to play there. I'm going to come back, and that shift should be over. My license can be obscured, and I can change how I look a little bit, and then it'll be down to two things, either facial recognition or my ID. It seemed to me like my ID didn't have anything to do with it, because if it did have something to do with it, then why would they have asked me for ID? They would have just recorded whatever they wanted to in the system, and they would have been fine. So I'm thinking it's facial recognition, because they were on it in like less than a minute. So license plate or facial recognition. I'm going to obscure the license plate, so that's not going to be it. So facial recognition. We're going to try to see what happens when I go in there, and if I get stopped right away, then I'm going to ask them, how did you know I was even in here, and see what they say, and that'll aid some other people in case we need that information. And hopefully, if they back me off, it's just a temporary thing, that I can still come into the casino and do other things, because there may be some other possibilities in there. There are good slots in there and other things, and I really don't want to lose that casino. And hopefully it's just a back off, not a trespass, and maybe I can try to play blackjack again later on. So we'll see. But as long as I've been coming to this casino, I don't know if I'll ever be able to play blackjack again if they say no more blackjack. So yeah, I can't say I'm not nervous about it, but whatever's going to happen is going to happen, and being nervous isn't going to make it any better. So we're going to head off to the next casino, which was going to be our fourth casino. Instead, it's going to be our third, and then the third casino will become our fourth. So that's what's happening right now, and I'll be back to update you. All right, guys, I am back. Went into the next spot, and this is the only place in the area that's not asking for IDs. And I walk up, and I've been avoiding this place asking me for ID for a long time, and they asked everybody for IDs. So I decided, why not? I gave it to them. I had like a couple thousand in chips I needed to cash, so I gave it to them. They put it in the system. They popped back out, green light, I'm fine. So I know I'm okay. So the only thing I have to worry about that place, because I've been avoiding their facial recognition, putting stuff up to my face, putting my phone up, all this stuff. I've been avoiding it for a long time. So now I know I don't have to avoid it anymore, and it's just the one person I have to worry about. So that's all good. I walked in, went to the cashier right away, cashed about 1,500 and change in chips. And these guys have a limit of 2,000. Anything above 2,000, they'll ask for ID. Got that money, everything was fine, and ran into a guy, and he asked me for $10, and I said no. Then he asked me for $10, and I said no. Then he asked me again, and I said no. And finally, I said no about 7 times, and he walked away. And I went to play some blackjack. I still had some chips, so I bought in with a $500 chip, got changed, started playing, and it started off okay. I was up a couple $100, and then there was one guy at the table, but that's the only good, reasonable table that they had. So I sat with him and played. I was up a couple hundred. Then this girl and her friend came to the table, and the count started dropping and dropping and dropping and dropping. Got to a running -12. And I'm like, why am I still here? and I ended up getting up and taking a walk with the intention of coming back, but then nothing opened up after that, so I didn't play any more there. But I did play some slots as well. There was one slot that I was walking up to it, and the guy who was asking me for money, he's like, "Hey, Joe, look, right there's a play." I'm like, "Yeah, right. I'm already sitting in the seat. You didn't give me anything. I'm not giving you money for this." So I ended the slot session ahead $256, and blackjack I only ended up ahead $50. And we're moving on to the place that I'm worried about, and I'll be back to update you. Alright guys, I am back, and so here's what I decided to do. I'm on my way over to the next place. So I have some post-it notes. I just opened up my trunk before I left the parking garage, and I noticed I had some post-it notes in a box. So I took, they're the bigger kind, like twice as big as the average post-it. So I took 2 of them and put it over my license plate. I probably should have waited till I got closer to the casino, but I put them over the license plate, and right now I'm driving to the next casino with no plates visible, and I'm about to get on the highway, so hopefully there's no problem there, and we'll see what happens. But I'm going to run over there real quick. License plate covered, so the only thing that it could be then is facial recognition or my ID, and we'll see what happens there. So that's what's going on right now. Hopefully I can get through this light sometime soon and get on the highway, and I'll be back to update you. See, now this is the unfair part. Now you guys didn't have to wait at all to see what would happen there, and you know, I was all nervous and, you know, going in the parking garage. Nothing happened in the parking garage. So then I'm like, okay, facial recognition, I know, like if you have just sunglasses or just a frame with clear glass and you put it on your forehead, the facial recognition has a problem. Then I'm like, what am I doing? Why even worry about that? Let's just go in and see what happens. So I go in and I give them my ID. They pop it in. They let me right in, no problem. So I'm like, okay, got through that part. Now let's see if the facial recognition gets me. Because last time I got in that part, and then I went to the poker room to cash chips, and they immediately were on me. So what did I do? I thought, hey, let's keep everything consistent. Let's go to the poker room. So I head over to the poker room, and I walk in, and I walk up to the desk, and I ask if there's any poker tables open, if there's any seats open. And the guy checks the computer, and he takes his time, and he tells me no, there's none. But what did I gain from that? I gained that now I've been in there for about 5 minutes, no issue. So now I walk around this place, and I walked around the whole place, looked at a few slot machines. Then I went into the bathroom. I waited for a few minutes. I came back out. No security, no issue. All right, well, we got through that part. Now, this is a different shift, so there's no guarantee that this is the only thing that, you know, it's not a guarantee that I'm not going to have problems in the future. But at least now I know that I got through that portion of it. So now I know at 2 casinos, I don't have to worry about my IDs. And I can get in no problem, and no immediate issues. So now the next thing to do is to try to go to a blackjack table and see what would happen, because now I still have these $500 chips. I want to see if there's going to be an issue using them when I get to the table. So I go to the table, I buy in with a $500 chip. They give me change. It's a low limit table. I just want to see what's going on. I play a shoe. Nothing happens. Now, I mean, along the way, some stuff happened. The count started going up. I raised. Lady comes to the table. Count plummets. I lose like 10 out of 11 hands, I counted. And then she runs out of money and leaves. And then started picking back up again. And I ended the shoe ahead $175. Now, I should keep on playing because I haven't been backed off. I haven't had any issues or anything like that. But I want to test the whole system and see what happens. So I call her up. Now I have like $1,200 in chips. I go over to the cashier, same area I was before. I put the chips on the table, joke around with the lady, joke around with her manager behind her, and no issues. They pay me and everything's fine. So I walk around, look at slots again, and I hadn't played any slots up until that point. And actually, I go to check a machine, and you can't check the different bet levels unless you have money in it that covers that bet level, or there's no money in it. So it turned out there was $1 in that machine. So I cashed out the $1, checked the bet levels, nothing. I move on. I find another machine. It's like ready to go. It's 75 cents. So I put my $1 in, hit it right away, turn the $1 into 7. So I went from 0 to 1 and 1 to 7. And that's all that I could find. I found another player there that I knew. I talked to him for a while, and I ended up leaving. Just wanted to see what would happen. Took the stickers off my license plate and moved on. And right now, I'm in my car, just left there, and no issues. So I ended that session ahead 175 on the blackjack plus 7 on the slots. No issues. Cashed all my chips. Cashed in almost 4,000 in chips today at places I was worried about. No issues. So we'll see what happens. So the next time I come here, I'm going to try to go on the shift that I had an issue. I'm not going to cover the plates. I'm going to go in. I know it's not my ID. I know it's not the facial recognition. So then we'll know if it's the license plate or not. I could actually go back tonight without the plate covered and see what happens. And if I get in with the plate uncovered, then I know all I have to avoid is whoever saw me that day cashing out chips, or not at all, because they may have forgotten about me by then. So I'm going to be, next time I come to the area, I'm going to wear different clothes, because I always wear pretty standard clothes when I come to the area. I'm going to wear different type of clothes for a while, and hopefully everything blows over, no issues, and we can get back to normal. So right now, I'm going to move on to the next casino, and I'll be back to update you. Oh yeah. Yeah, that was interesting. Here we go. Roll in. That guy had like a pot cigar. It was enormous. All right, so we're just walking out. Everybody's happy around here, I guess. Everybody's enjoying themselves, giving their money away. A lot of stuff going on. One thing I remembered while I was in there is at the last spot that I was at, while I was walking around checking machines and stuff, I saw a dealer from another casino. I've talked about her before. She's the one that said to just go in and play your free play and take the money and run. I saw her in there, and she's like, Joe, have you lost some weight? I'm like, yeah, how did you know? That's good. Thanks for noticing. So I talked to her for a minute or two. Whew, it is warm, man. It is warm. All right. So I talked to her, and anyway, I went into this place and stood in line to get in, finally got in, and looked at machines, and I found a couple plays. I mean, machine-wise, I only started with a $20 bill, and I ended up making like 129 off 3 plays, I think. So that was all right. And then blackjack, the tables were all jam-packed, and so I was back counting behind a table that just started a new shoe just to see what would happen. Ended up being just one guy on the table, but he kept looking back at me like he was annoyed with me. I'm like, you're the one that just split 7s against a 10. What are you annoyed with me for? And the highest that it got was like a true 1. So on an 8-deck shoe, and it just wasn't worthwhile to sit down there. So I ended up finally abandoning it when the count went down and there was nothing else going on. Oh man. Other than that, man, just walked around and looked at a lot of slots, a lot of blackjack tables, other tables as well, and just couldn't find anything else. One thing that was funny is there's a machine that a friend of mine turned me on to, that it's 2 machines linked together, and they have a must hit by jackpot, and usually people just take both of them, reserve one, and play the other one because they don't want someone else to get the jackpot. And it was like 20 cents away from being in the money. So I took my time. I sat down next to this lady. It's climbing, it's climbing, it's climbing. Put my money in, slowly started. And as soon as it hit where it was supposed to be, I started pushing the button, and about 3 or 4 spins into it, I hit it, and I'm like, oh, what happened? And she was like, oh, you hit it. I can't believe it. I'm like, yep. So that wasn't much. I mean, I made like $16 on that one, but, you know, money is money. So, like I said, I had 129 and didn't play any tables. I decided to go get some food, so I go to the food area, and I'm sitting down, and this young girl behind me, young black girl, real sweet, she's like, Happy Father's Day. I'm like, thanks. And I showed her a picture of my family and all that, and she's like, yeah, my dad's over there. She said, I'm only 16, so we weren't sure if we could get in here or not. I'm like, yeah, it's the food area, hotel area, so that's okay. So I talked to her for a minute, and then talked to her dad for a minute before they left, while I was waiting for my food, had my food, and got out of there. So now we're going to head back to the casino that we were at before, where we had our license plate covered up. We're not going to cover it up. We're going to go in there. We're going to see what happens, and hopefully get some playtime in, and I'll report back to you. All right, guys, I am back. Oh man, I am very tired leaving there. I was in a bad spot. I did play some slot. I played one slot actually, and ended up losing $47 on it. And it was it was 2 of them right next to each other, same type of machine. They were in good position, and it didn't go well, but lost 47 on that. Get that out of the way. Then I went and looked at blackjack tables, and I found a nice table with an odd bet amount, $35 minimum bet, okay? $35 minimum bet, and I knew that there were going to be some things going on this table because it was only me on it, but the dealer didn't know how to get the cards out of the card shuffler. So he pushes the button, it does not put the old cards in, pushes the button again, the new cards come out, he doesn't know what to do with them, so he finally has me cut them, he puts them in the shoe, and then he puts the other cards back in, and eventually gets everything rolling. And he's a young kid, nice guy and everything, but doesn't know his math. About 10 times, well, maybe 3 times, about 3 times I had to tell him that a blackjack on $35 is $52.50. And then this Asian guy comes, a young kid, sits next to me, and he's betting like $34.50 on, not 30, $39.50 on hands, and getting blackjacks and stuff. And this guy is just going out of his mind trying to figure out the payout for it. And twice he paid us on hands that were losing hands, and then he figured it out, and then he just took the chips from us. He didn't even tell the pit boss or anything. So there was all kinds of shenanigans going on, which was okay, because I figured eventually he's going to make some mistakes that work out for us. And I'm not sure if that happened or not. It might have happened once, but he was having a real rough time. And I was betting table minimum most of the time because the counts just weren't there. So I wasn't raising. In fact, I got into the fractional increments where, okay, it's a half, it's a 3/4, it's a 1 1/4 true count. And I was changing the bet size based on that. I'm like, what else could I do? It's like there's nowhere to go. I can't bet exactly the same amount every single hand. And what was worse was the music was up super loud, and there was a band behind us playing a whole different type of music. So I'm listening to the music on the speakers and the band at the same time, and they were like in my ear, right behind me. So that was kind of, my head was like thumping the whole night. But I played there for a while, actually, I'd say 45 minutes or so. And then finally we got into a shoe that was deeply negative, and I ended up leaving. But I thought this Asian guy kind of had an idea of what he was doing, even though the counts were pretty flat. But then when it went severely negative, he went to 2 hands. So I'm like, okay, maybe not. So overall, and luckily I put everything in my notebook here. The other day I was putting stuff in the spreadsheet, and I had to actually listen to the episode because I was missing a day. But overall ended the blackjack session only ahead 225, and it was a grind the whole time. And slots minus 47, so not making a lot of money today. I can't imagine that we're up more than 500 or 600, but that's going to happen sometimes. So right now it's just about midnight, and we're going to move on to the next casino, and I'll be back to update you. All right, guys, just leaving the next casino, and it was pretty quiet in there, and actually I only saw one other group of APs, and they were all together watching this one machine. They had just hit a jackpot of like 1374, I think, and the whole time I was in this casino they were waiting to get paid out. So I found a few small plays, nothing too exciting, but I was definitely very thorough as it's late at night, and I'm probably going to be one of the last people to go through everything. So I did end up with a small profit, $104, and yeah, that's really all I could do. There was only one machine I really couldn't check, and I waited and waited for this lady to get up, but she kept pumping money into it, and I never got a chance to look at it. So that's that. Let me think here. There was some other things I wanted to go over with you. Okay, I guess for now we could do our segments. What did you eat today, MW? Today in the morning I had some chicken strips, which are breaded. We had a get together, and just for Father's Day, and we bought like a couple hundred chicken strips, and I just took the breading off, and it was good. I give those I would say at least a 10 on a scale of 2 through ace, and we can give it a jack. Let's just go nuts. Jack on a scale of 2 through ace. And then this evening I had a pizza. I had a large pepperoni and cheese, extra pepperoni pizza. I ate just the toppings, no crust, and that was pretty good. I give that a 9 on a scale of 2 through ace. And what did you tip today, MW? And I did have multiple blackjack sessions today. I did play lots of slots as well. First blackjack session, I only ended up ahead $50. I tipped $0 on that one. Second blackjack session, I only ended up ahead $175, and I tipped 0 on that one. And the third blackjack session, I ended up ahead $225 and tipped 0 on that one. It's interesting. Some days they're all, 500, 900, 1,000, and other days it's like 50, 80, 100 on the blackjack, and it's like, I don't know why it happens like that, but days are very streaky. You have very big days and very small bad days, like not making a lot of money days, and then you've got very, very bad days. It doesn't seem to be much in between. You have okay wins, decent wins, or incredibly bad wins and decent and low wins, so whatever, if that makes sense at all. So we tipped a total of $0 today. And what did you learn today, MW? I learned that I need to be patient and not to stress, and I think I did a good job of not blowing everything out of proportion with these casinos. There was one casino I've never given ID to, and I did give them ID today, and no problems there. And then there was another one that I thought maybe I was going to be backed off because my friend was backed off, and so far not a problem. I did go there with and without my license plate blocked. I did use my ID. I did play blackjack. I did cash out at the main cage where they would see me the easiest, and I cashed out there twice today, so no issues. So the only thing that's left would be if a certain person was looking for me on the other shift, and we'll find that out later on in the week. So that's what's going on right now, and I'll be back to update you. Alright guys, 3 a.m. and just got more fuel and continuing my trip. Gonna go ahead and wrap this up. Gonna head home. Tomorrow is gonna be a shorter day. as far as gambling, but we're going to see what we can do about fitting in some other stuff to try to make some money, and we'll go from there. So for now, I'm going to let you go. If you have any questions or comments, my email is mwusa21@gmail.com, mwusa21@gmail.com. See you next time.